Decentralisation, why does it matter? It's a very, very key topic actually. I might start at the beginning. So we've been in the space for a long time. A lot of people are just cottoning on to decentralisation as a concept through the advent of blockchain becoming very, very popular. It's more of a fundamental topic for me personally, as well as our company and our belief behind our founding. Really, it's, you know, we came to life through the belief that humans should be able to connect directly online just as they can do offline. So what we used to call it was providing confidentiality through off-cloud solutions, and that what we were doing is providing a way for people to connect directly device to device without the middleman or the cloud, or through using decentralized technologies. Blockchain has really brought the concept of decentralized technologies to the forefront in terms of software, and that it now enables the provision of a lot of services that people are used to with centralized popular mainstream services without the need for that centralized party which holds the key, you know, to all the data, to all the control for a user. And the concept of decentralization goes well beyond software. You know, it's the most popular in terms of that realm, but when you look at decentralization, it's the concept of removing one central party from the control point in a scenario and enabling multiple parties or independent parties to directly connect without a centralized authority. If you branch that out into even aspects like governance, you know, the concept of democracy is one. It's an approach at a decentralized governance structure. You know, if you look at that versus a dictatorship, it's not all the way there, but it's the concept of having more parties involved that have an influence on a scenario so that you don't have one central control point or failure point, may it be. So where decentralization comes into play for the solutions we're developing is that it removes that third party in a scenario, and it really enables direct connection, which provides privacy, it provides confidentiality, but it also provides efficiencies. So in the products we're delivering, I mean, if you look at a concept like Uber, for example, right? Uber, amazing service, but it's still centralized. So when you're connecting a rider to a driver, you've still got Uber providing the service, which takes a clip, which makes the service more expensive. In the scenario of a decentralized ride-sharing service, what you do is you strip out that middleman, creating a direct connection between the driver and the rider through the technology, and this essentially makes it a much more efficient service. In the sense of communication, you know, we leverage peer-to-peer technologies, which is a more early stage decentralized technology, which enable people to connect directly without that centralized server relay, and it creates more efficiencies because you're no longer routing through a third point. So there's a whole number of areas where decentralization can really help across from, you know, tech to brick and mortar industries, but the concept is changing up the model of having that single point that has, I guess, a disproportionate amount of influence or control over a scenario. And when you're talking about providing services, particularly communication services, it's a scenario where, you know, it's better to streamline that, to remove the vested interest, to remove the exploitation, you know, to remove the incentive to, you know, exploit those communications. Because in the end of the day, when you think about human connection, you know, the purpose of human connection is to create a direct exchange of value between one another. You know, the purpose of a lot of these platforms that we use to communicate now is to extract as much value as possible out of that communication, and it's very, very counterintuitive. And something we're very firmly working on is providing that same value without the downsides or what we consider the negative aspects.